I just got done playing through a new beat-em-up game called Wulverblade, which is very much inspired by the likes of Golden Axe and Knights of the Round. But is this game as sharp as a fine blade, or can this one just not cut it? Wulverblade is a classic beat-em-up style of game with two main modes, the story mode and the arcade mode. The difference being that you have checkpoints during the story mode that you can go back to if you lose all your lives, where in arcade, if you run out, you have a few continues, but then it's game over. The game has you taking the role of a Britannia warrior trying to stave off the Roman invasion. You'll have to battle other Britannia warriors that have defected, as well as Roman armies throughout the game's 8 levels. Each of the 3 playable characters does have different stats such as power, speed, and how much damage that they're able to take. Once you've selected your warrior, you're dropped into the first of the levels and you'll start hacking and slashing your way through the enemies. The game's controls are simple but work well. You have your main attack button, which there isn't a ton of comboing that can be done, other than stuff like knocking an enemy into the air and then hitting them before they end up crashing into the ground. You're able to jump, you can double tap direction buttons in order to run and then do a running charge move into enemies, as well as your special moves, such as being able to call wolves once per level that'll take out most of the enemies on screen and do a little bit of damage to bosses, as well as you're also able to go into rage mode once you fill up a meter. In rage mode, you're invincible. It can just mash the attack button very quickly to do a ton of damage to enemies or bosses, but it takes a little bit, of course, to fill up. You can get a little bit bonus of your rage instantly by doing one of the execution moves. At any point you knock an enemy down to the ground, they'll have stars rolling around their head and you can walk up to them to finish them off, getting yourself a little bit of rage. The game can be played up to 2 players locally, but unfortunately no online. While you're slashing down the enemies, you'll actually be able to dismember them, cutting off their limbs and even their heads, and then be able to throw them at the enemies. One thing I didn't like, though, is that the pickup button was the same as your normal attack, so a lot of times I would pick up unnecessary weapons when I just wanted to do my standard attack. While going through the levels, you'll find some secrets as well as scattered notes that you'll be able to pick up and give you some historical information about items and enemies that you're fighting. Outside the main campaign, there's also an arena mode that you can battle wave after wave of enemies to see how long that you're able to last. From the technical side of things, though, the game ran smoothly. I didn't run into any major glitching, crashing, or slowdown of any sort. Wulverblade is available now on the Nintendo Switch for $19.99 and will be coming soon also to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Overall, Wulverblade is a pretty decent beat-em-up game. If you're a fan of early 90s beat-em-ups, you'll probably end up enjoying it, though it feels like its inspiration is also limiting it a little bit, only 2-player co-op instead of 3, as well as its combat doesn't have enough variety for my taste, but it's still enjoyable and fun enough to play through the game's 8 levels. The thing I like most about the game as a history fan, though, was the historical context to everything that was going on in the battles, as well as the other information that they included about various things you find throughout the game. With everything said, though, I'm going to be giving Wulverblade a 7 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.